Hey everyone, welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're jumping straight into a critically important manual for the healthcare and support field, the Caregiver's Guide to Professional Communication Skills. Specifically, we're unpacking everything in Lesson 4, which is purely dedicated to client communication skills. We're taking a very realistic, boots-on-the-ground approach today. Why? Because in caregiving, communication isn't just about being polite, it's a literal operational necessity. And since so many of you asked for a clear, actionable summary right out of the gate, here it is. The exact words you use and the boundaries you set completely dictate the quality of care provided. Let's get into it.
Okay, let's dive into this. Guided by a really powerful coaching insight pulled directly from the guide. Strong communication prevents most complaints before they happen. I want you to hold on to that summary concept for the rest of this explainer. Everything, and I mean everything, we talk about today is about proactive prevention. We aren't just reacting to fires. We are learning how to fireproof the relationship between caregiver and client right from the very first interaction.
So how do we get to that point of proactive mastery? Well, here is our roadmap. First, we'll cover essential client communication skills. Next, we'll establish the golden communication rule. And finally, we'll look at common communication mistakes. Let's kick things off with Section 1, Essential Client Communication Skills. This is the absolute foundation of your daily interactions. Before we list out the specific skills, we really need to understand their dual purpose. You see, professional communication works on two fronts simultaneously. On one side, it actively improves client satisfaction. It builds trust, it builds comfort, and it just makes the client feel valued. But on the flip side, and honestly, this is just as critical, it prevents complaints. Think of it like having both an offensive strategy and a defensive shield. It's kind of like driving defensively, right? You're ensuring a really smooth ride for the client while actively anticipating and dodging hazards before a crash even happens. You're creating a positive vibe while instantly neutralizing any misunderstandings that could otherwise blow up into formal issues. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is how these 5 essential skills function as proactive, everybody tools out in the field. Let's break them down real quick. First up, active listening. This means truly hearing the client's needs, like picking up on the fact that they aren't just tired, but maybe they're actually in pain, rather than just waiting for your turn to speak. Second, a respectful tone. This one is non-negotiable. It maintains dignity even in super difficult or stressful situations, like when a client is understandably frustrated about losing their independence. Third, clear explanations. You've got to tell the client exactly what you're doing and why, and please ditch the confusing medical jargon. Fourth, handling family concerns, because let's face it, caregiving doesn't happen in a vacuum. Talking effectively and calmly with an anxious family member is a massive part of the gig. And fifth, reporting concerns to the agency. This is where communication moves out of the home and back to the operational hub. Every single one of these bullets is a proactive measure. Actually, that 5th skill, reporting concerns, bridges us perfectly right into the second part of our agenda, the golden communication rule. This shifts us from your individual speaking habits to the crucial operational boundaries of a caregiver. And this brilliantly illustrates the exact boundary that defines a caregiver's scope of responsibility. It really all comes down to a super clean 2-step pipeline. Step 1, caregivers report problems. Step 2, the agency solves them. Period. As a caregiver, you are the eyes and ears on the ground. If you spot a sudden change in how a client is reacting to meds, or maybe a severe scheduling conflict, your job is to communicate that right back to base. You are not expected to be the ultimate superheroes solving systemic or medical issues that are way outside your scope. The agency steps in to solve it. Recognizing this boundary takes a massive amount of pressure off your shoulders and ensures problems are handled safely by the exact right people. But hey, what happens when we drop those essential skills and completely ignore that golden reporting rule? Let's transition to our final section, common communication mistakes. So the crucial point is that these are the reactive failures that absolutely destroy trust. First on the what not to do list, overpromising services. Look, it usually comes from a good place, right? A caregiver wants to be the hero, promising a schedule change or a service they don't actually control, but it instantly creates false expectations. Next, arguing with clients. This completely throws that respectful tone we just talked about out the window, and it immediately escalates tension instead of fixing it. Then we have ignoring concerns. This is literally the exact opposite of active listening, and it practically guarantees the client is going to feel neglected. And finally, not documenting issues. Listen, if you don't document a problem, the agency simply can't solve it. It totally breaks the golden rule. Every single one of these mistakes is basically rolling out the red carpet for the exact complaints we're trying so hard to prevent. Which brings us to our final thought. Let's tie this all back to our initial summary. If strong communication is what prevents most complaints before they even see the light of day, I really want to leave you with this question. Are you actively documenting and reporting today to prevent tomorrow's complaints? Seriously, think about it. Whether you are a caregiver in the home or a manager back at the agency, the communication habits you're practicing right now are literally writing the script for your future client relationships. Keep those essential skills sharp, respect that golden rule of reporting, and steer clear of those common pitfalls. Thanks so much for hanging out with me for this explainer, and keep on learning.